I am a certified long book lover, which means when it comes to 48-hour readathons, I have to choose what I want to read really carefully. So I have curated a TBR for myself for this weekend coming up where I am participating in pageathon, which if you missed the announcement for that, I will link it down below. It is a page count readathon. So instead of using your book, like one book equals this amount of points, your pages count. And what's happening in this readathon is your pages will affect us. You can use your pages to redeem things that we have to do. You can pick our book for us. I'm hoping some of you will be nice to me and pick books off of either this TBR or my 5-star prediction TBR, but I know there's going to be some unhinged smut coming my way, or like really, really gross, disturbing things that also might be coming my way, and that's going to be a lot of fun though. As long as it's not too long. You can also redeem to Bean Boozle Us, which makes us eat a jelly bean that could be good or bad. Or you can make us play a game on sprints. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And as I said, the announcement video is linked down below, but it's your pages that matter for this. So it's not if you can finish one book, it's all of your pages. You can submit 5 pages, 50 pages, 60 pages, 70 pages, whatever. I think it's a lot of fun, and please make sure to check out the announcement. But this is my TBR. So these are a bunch of books that I think will be really good to read in 48 hours. This could either mean that they're shorter or that I think I'm just gonna have so much fun that I don't want to put the book down and it's gonna read kind of fast. That's kind of like the vibes I go for when picking a TBR for something like this, because I do love a long book. The shorter the book, the more I'm like, maybe not. Like I just want substance and world building and depth, and I think I get that out of long books. I think we're gonna start with paranormal romance, and then we're gonna move to horror, then maybe romance, then romantasy. I don't know why I just decided to start with paranormal romance. I do find that paranormal romances read really quickly and tend to read a little bit shorter. I think there is a little bit less of a page count in them. So the first one I'm adding to my TBR is Crescent Kingdom by Tessa Hale. I have this gorgeous edition I actually got from the author. It came in a PR box, and I still haven't read this. I have read a previous series by Tessa Hale, and I think you'll see this on a rec video coming up about popcorn reads, because that series was so like unputdownable. I read all 3 books in that series in probably like one day. I have a feeling that Crescent Kingdom could be similar, although it wasn't like the best book ever. I had a good time reading it, and I said I couldn't stop, and I think Crescent Kingdom will hit that as well. I don't know a lot about this besides that this is a spin-off character from a character we meet in the Dragons of Ember Hollow. I think that's what the series is called, which is the one I read, and I was very interested in that character. We don't really like see a lot, so you can definitely read this without reading that one, but like I do remember like her being mentioned, and I know which character it follows. This is a why choose paranormal romance in our world. I believe this one follows werewolves. The other one was dragon shifters, and we're following like a werewolf pack in this, I believe. And I love a little why choose romance. I think a lot of my faster reads tend to be why choose. I just like, why would I pick, you know? Like, why would I pick when I could have all of them? All of them is probably a lot in real life, but fictionally, give them all to me. I think our character is like on the run, and then this wolf pack finds her, and I believe they're gonna protect her from whatever she's on the run from, and she's like a special type of character, like the chosen one, essentially. Like there's not a lot of people like her in the world anymore, and I'm very, very much excited to give this one a go. And I think this one is probably the shortest book on my TBR. It's 240 pages. If the last series I read from her is anything to go off, I could be reading the entire series this weekend, because I just like couldn't stop. Like they end and it just feels like you need to continue. Another why choose paranormal romance is Royal Mate by Eva Chase. This is book 4 in the, I don't know what the series title is called. Bound to the Fae. It's literally on the front cover. This one is kind of interesting because I have read the first 3 books, and that kind of feels like a completed trilogy. And then in book 3, right at the end, we're adding another man into the fold, and that starts 4, 5, and 6. And there is a complication, a big bad that happens in 4, 5, and 6. And then I believe we add another man in, and we get to 7, 8, and 9. And then the series is over. These read really, really quickly. I have the audiobook available already. I haven't read these in a really long time because they're just like 3-star reads for me. However, they're really good to just like get through and have a good time with. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be my favorite series ever at any point, but I do enjoy them. And for something like this, sometimes it's nice just to have a book that I can put on and do a cozy hobby or something, because I am planning to read for 48 hours straight. Having audiobooks to listen to for me has always been a really good way to make sure that I can get up and move around or do a puzzle or crochet something, which keeps my brain stimulated and less tired during this, or if I have to cook, although I'm hoping to order Din Din, but if I have to cook, this is always a good one too, like having an audiobook. This one follows our main character who is taken prisoner by a pack of wolves. She has something in her blood that helps break a curse if they take it, and she's actually rescued and taken prisoner again by another pack of wolves. However, they treat her a lot better as they learn the mysteries and they don't want to keep her as a prisoner. Instead, they try to protect her and she falls in love with them. And then my last paranormal romance is Speak of a Demon by Stacia Stark. This is a demon hunting romance. Our main character, I believe, is a demon hunter. She's caught in demon territory and he's giving her a choice, bond with him or die. That's really all I know about this. I hunt demons, I don't work for them. And I promised my mom one thing before she was murdered. Under no circumstances would I ever go near the high demons. But I'll break that promise over and over again if it helps me avenge her death. When my only lead turns to ash in the middle of demon territory, I'm suddenly a dead witch walking. Violence in Samuel's Club is an automatic death sentence unless he can use you. And it turns out that the most powerful demon in the country has a use for little old me. Demons are being slaughtered, his demons. And as a bounty hunter, it's up to me to find out who would dare hurt his people. See, this sounds really good in my opinion. It's gonna be fun and fast paced, and I do have a special edition of it. And I will say, like, I love the artwork. It is the same on both sides, but I think that this is really pretty. And like the sass she's giving in this. And I feel like just like this with like the night, oh, I feel like this is a scene that I want to read. And I do believe I have the audiobook for this as well. I also have this artwork that is on like the reverse dust jacket, which is also really, really pretty. Oh, it's also on the naked hardcover. The kiss told me in no uncertain terms that I belong to him. See, like, this sounds good. I want to read it. And I have previously really, really enjoyed Stacia Stark in the past. I loved We Who Will Die and even A Court This Cruel and Lovely. We don't talk about the last two books, but I like the first two books. But We Who Will Die is one of my favorite books this year that I've read. Oh, and this one is 350 pages. 350 is enough to still give me the substance I want without being too long that it's taking up the entire 48 hours. Okay, horror thriller wise, there's two on my physical TBR that I really, really would like to get to. I obviously can't get to all of these books, but I like to have a TBR for you all, especially because there's a prompt where you can steal from our TBR, but I like to show you what I'm interested in reading. And just having this gives me a little bit more direction for the weekend. When I'm unsure what I want to read, I can look back on this video and be like, oh yeah, I said I wanted to read that. And it also means that I've already done the work to figure out what is good to read during this weekend, and I don't have to sit there and waste time being like, what book is under 400 pages that I'm interested in reading. But I am such a mood reader that I need a big list. First one you've seen on so many TBRs of mine lately because I really, really want to get to it. If there's one thriller I want to get to this weekend, it's this. It's Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cashino. This is about a woman who's buying her house and she will do anything to buy the house. She gets really, really unhinged, and I recently bought my first house and I was a little unhinged. Not this unhinged, but I was a little unhinged. And I just want to see the like mess of her being unhinged. And I also hear there's a lot of like commentary on like the housing market as well as the exploration of class and stuff. And I just think like that's all very relatable as someone who bought my house, and like it took me 2 years to buy this house. The housing market is literally insane right now. And yeah, like class and all that does like play a part in all of this. I think that this is going to be unhinged and so fun, and I think I can fly through this. And it's only 274 pages, so perfect for a readathon like this in my opinion. A horror that I'm really interested in is The House of Quiet by Kirsten White. I actually would be interested in trying more from Kirsten White other than just this, but this one really caught my attention. I love the cover on this, the colors, it's stunning. I actually designed a whole bookmark revolved around this color scheme. Okay, I ended up muting the house color a little bit, but this is the bookmark I designed for Patreon. It's a house and then it says in need of a killer read, and like the idea was to like match this. Like, look at that, isn't that beautiful? That was my inspiration because I just like love how this looked so much. If I read this weekend, I need to use this bookmark because this literally inspired it. This is about a institute for children essentially, which is something that is really a buzzword for me. I loved the show Dark Angel when I was younger. I loved The Institute by Stephen King, The Girl with All the Gifts. I just think this exploration is like very haunting, but also I see how our world can get to this, and that's also very scary. So The House of Quiet is a place for children whose procedure triggered powers too terrible to be lived with, and this is their last hope for treatment. No one knows how they're healed or where they go afterward. And Birdie has begged, bargained, and blackmailed her way inside as a maid, determined to find her missing sister, Maggie. I also love a sibling story, so that's really a buzzword for me. But all she discovers is more mysteries. Instead of destitute children who undergo the procedure in hopes of social advancement, the house brims with aristocratic teens wielding strange powers they never should have been burdened with. Doesn't that sound really good? I'm very, very much excited for this one and would love to give it a go. I think it's going to be a little bit like fantasy-esque in its horror, which I think I could really enjoy. So hoping to love this one. A really short one I could pick up is Magnum Opus. I have read from this author before and loved this author in the short story I read from them and given that 5 stars. So really I just have this on this list because of that. There's no other reason. I don't even know what this is about, but I'm just like, well, if I love something from them, I should try more. And this is the perfect time because I don't gravitate towards short reads, and I think this is like a little novella around 100 pages or less. So hopefully I will love this one. And this would also be a good one like after I've read a long book or two, or I'm feeling like a little slumpy. Sometimes it's good to have like a really short thing that just like has me feeling like I achieved something really quickly. It gives me like a little boost of adrenaline to finish more books and read more, especially if it's a win. We have The House of Ideal. I actually don't know how to say this. And again, I have read from this author before. I gave Bloom 5 stars, and then I also read Guillotine, and I did not give that one 5 stars, but I still enjoyed it. I also have the audiobook available for me on Hoopla for this, and I'm very just excited to get to it. It'll be a quick paced read. Again, I know nothing. I literally did no research into what this is about, just that I enjoy the author. She tends to have a lot of commentary in her stories. I really do enjoy them, and I listen to the audiobooks, and I do whatever I want while I listen to the audiobooks, and it's a good time. Another thriller is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and this is Holly Jackson's like adult debut thriller, and I've heard really good things about it. So again, one that I would love to get to. There are so many books, so little time. I have this one available to me on Libby, so I'm very excited also to get to it. I'm expecting similar vibes to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. In this one, we follow our main character who is given 7 days to live. The reason this happens is someone hits her over the head and gives her like a brain aneurysm, and so she has 7 days to figure out who murdered her. And so it's like a murder mystery with like a very unique take because it's your own murder and you're still alive. And I really think that this could be very interesting, and I loved like social commentary in Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I loved the pacing. It was really quick, and as I said, I've heard really good things. Deb, who's DG Reads, has given it 5 stars, and I'm typically only about a star off of Deb's ratings when I read things in like the genres we have around each other. Like we either 100% agree or I'm only a star off. So I'm predicting at least a 4 star, but honestly I'm predicting a 5 star for this one. Romance wise, I really only have one that I'm really itching to get to, and that is the sequel to Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. I don't remember the name, so I'll pop it up. I read this one this year, and I gave this one, I don't remember if I gave it 3 stars or 4 stars, but I really enjoyed Catherine Cowles' writing. I just didn't think the male love interest in this was for me, and I have learned very much that a series can work for me as it goes on. And this one follows like a found family of like adopted siblings, and I think that since we get to see them in every single book, as we go on more and more, I'm gonna like the series more and more as I'm more attached to every character and I know their stories and their journeys. And that's something I've really found I liked about standalone companion series in romance, is when I get to follow all these characters in a big found family aspect. This is also a romantic suspense, which is something I have been obsessed with. I know I want to continue in Catherine Cowles. I think that I'm very interested in the male love interest in this one, so I'm hoping the female love interest also works for me. I actually would be very open to more suggestions for romantic suspense. The other one I technically have is Tame the Heart, but it's like 450 pages, and that just feels like too long for a 48-hour readathon, versus I think these are roughly 400 pages. They're still a little bit long, but like romance does read a little bit quicker for me. So this is kind of the only romance I have on my TBR. I did think about trying an Ali Hazelwood. I tried Bride and I hated Bride. It was way too quirky for me, but I would be maybe interested in trying one of her other ones. But I think The Love Hypothesis, which is the one I'm probably most interested in, is also quite long for a romance. But if you have any suggestions of which ones I should read for Ali Hazelwood, or just like romantic suspense, I know Ali Hazelwood isn't romantic suspense, any like romance books, I would happily take a couple more options for this weekend, because romance does read really quickly for me. Okay, and then if we just get to romantasy, actually the first one's a dystopian romance, but I did put it in here. The one I actually like am dying and desperate to get to this weekend is This Safe Darkness. This is a dystopian romance with a 30-year-old main character and a chronic illness representation. I have an arc of this, although I think it is out already, but I have like an arc on my Kindle, so that's how I'm gonna read it. And I have been itching to read this one for a while. I actually started it a couple days ago and then looked at the page count, and it's only 320 pages, so it's perfect for a 48-hour readathon for me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna read a longer book now and save this for 48 hours. So I'm really hoping I get to it, considering I saved it for this. In this one, we're following a world where 10 lucky women are sent down to the depths, and it's essentially a death sentence, but apparently it's supposed to be seen as a privilege. But like everyone knows it's the death sentence and no one wants it. And our main character is unlucky in being picked, and she knows, especially with her chronic illness, that this is really like no chance for her. However, she makes an unlikely ally that's gonna help her through, and I feel like there's a rebellion in its midst. I feel like most dystopian have a rebellion. We want to take down the system in its conversations and nuance and discussions, and I'm really excited for this one. I think especially with the chronic illness rep, we could have some really good conversations on that, and I'm very much obsessed with the commentary that we can get. So very, very much excited to get this one. Again, probably a 5-star prediction. I love dystopian. I'm so happy it's back because like the way that it just itches everything I want in a book, perfect. A sequel I could read is The Court of Lies and Deceit. This is the 3rd book in this series, and they all read really, really quickly. It is around 380 pages, but I think that I will breeze through this because I breezed through book 1 and 2, and Mel just recently read this one and had a really good time with it and gave it 4 stars. So I really think the pacing of this will help me read it really, really quickly because like they were so fast paced and really hard to put away. I've given, I think, both of them 4 stars, so I'm predicting a 4-star for this one, and not every book can be a 5-star. I still love my 4-star, so I'm very excited to still get to it. This follows our main character who lives in a world where the Fae are under the ruling of the dragon shifters, but once upon a time the dragon shifters were chained and under the ruling of the Fae, and now the dragon shifters are kind of getting their revenge, but there is a way for a Fae to get their freedom. Every single year there is a trial. The 3 that win earn their freedom, and our main character who is working for the rebellion thinks, well, the only way that I can work my way up in the rebellion is to prove to them that I can do things. So she signs up for this trial thinking she's gonna win, earn her freedom, go out to the free world because the other court, there's a Seelie court and the Unseelie court, the other one's free, and she's gonna bring back people to fight in the rebellion from the outside, and then they're gonna take down the dragon shifters. However, not everything is as it seems, and we also have a romance between a dragon shifter guard who does everything in his power to stop her from competing and winning, and she's just like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? And it was really fun, really, really fun, and I'm excited to get into this 3rd book where we're seeing a lot of things happening. I know the setup of book 2 had me really, really excited for book 3. I need to continue this before I like lose my love of all this world building and characters and stuff, since I do love to marathon my series. Don't look at how chunky this is because this is a bind up, but I also am interested in reading The Bone Witch. This has the entire trilogy in it. I believe The Bone Witch is less than 300 pages, and again, just like a fun time read. Oh yeah, The Bone Witch ends on page 251. That's a pretty good short length for a romantasy for me. I don't really know a lot about this one either. I know that her mom dies and she is given the power of the Bone Witch, which she never expected, and then some guy shows up on her doorstep and tells her that like her life is threatened. And I think that's pretty much all I know about this story. I probably could have included this into paranormal. I think it is set in like a fictional world, but romantasy and paranormal romance kind of blend together these days for me quite a bit. I don't know why I sectioned them off differently, to be honest, but I've had this on my shelf for a very, very long time, and I have this beautiful edition, so I should probably try to read it. And again, perfect length to pick up in a 48-hour readathon. A really random pick for me is Whispers of the Deep by Emma Hamm. I have been wanting to try Emma Hamm, and I feel like this is the one I hear the most about, and I feel like some of you would potentially be nice to me and pick this because it's very like out of my comfort zone. It's more of like a monster romance, which I'm not like the biggest reader of. I have loved some in the past though, but I've also hated some, which is just kind of standard for me in reading. And I feel like I need the push to read this one, but I'm very excited. I'm just like scared that it's gonna be too smutty. I feel like that's what I've heard about Emma Hamm, which is why I like never go to like pick it up, but like I do want to try this. I believe this follows an underground city, and Mira is one of the engineers that keeps it together, but in a solo job she encounters a monster of legend, a dangerous merman from an ancient civilization long forgotten, and he's trying to eradicate the city, but he unknowingly bonds with this human that saves him, and he can't ignore her. So he steals her away, keeps her and feeds her, only to realize their bond is far deeper than captor and captive. He cannot let her go, but he cannot keep her under the sea. In a battle to determine if love can survive a war beneath the waves, it will be their decision to change the tides. Captor captee is really hit or miss for me. There's like a borderline on it because like I have loved some books that have it. I would say like the Eva Chase series and like Rose in Chains are both captive captee, and they both work for for me, but I've also DNF'd some really, really early on. I think it just depends how it's handled when they're the captive, if they're like treated okay or not by the person I'm supposed to think of as the love interest. So I'm always scared to try something new, but I also am very excited to try something new, because what if I find something I love, you know? And then I think one that will potentially make a lot of people happy is Vampire Academy. I have not read these. I plead the fifth, and why, I don't know, but I have not read these. And with the great success of some of my like childhood stories that I never read, City of Bones and The Cruel Prince being like some of my favorite series as I read them as adults for the first time, I want to try more of this like nostalgic stories that I never read. And so I feel like Vampire Academy is a really good one. The first one is only 332 pages, and I think I will breeze through that. So that's why it's on the TBR. Again, I know not a lot about it. So there is a way that I either will love this, or I'll probably be like, oh, old Casty would have loved this. Either way, it's something I would like to try. And I think that that's it for my TBR, except for, as I was just thinking, I realized there's a paranormal romance that I do really want to read that I didn't put on this that fits, because it's only 339 pages. But I'd also love to read Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh. I know Tori was obsessed with this last year, and I have not read it yet, and I really think that I could love it. That could go on the TBR as well. I probably could keep going if I just kept thinking about things like Shatter Me, also a nostalgic one that I haven't read. But as I said, please leave me some romance options down below if you have any. Honestly, if you have any recommendations, I'm always happy to hear them, because as I said, I don't read a lot of short books, and it was really hard to find like books on my physical TBR or books that I was actively interested in that were under 400 pages, but then also it came quickly at the same time. I don't know how life's like that. Like, how is something hard but easy all at once? But I feel like I'm always looking for new books to add to my TBR for things like this that fit this, because I don't want to put the same books on every single time, and I'm actually hoping that I get to read some of these this time. Who knows though, because you guys could be controlling my reads every single read, and I might never get to read a single book besides the first book. So that first one, I guess I better pick well. Because what if that's the only book I get to read that I chose? This could be very scary. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun. I think it's gonna be completely unhinged. We do also have merch for this little readathon, and I will leave the bookmarks on the screen that you can buy from Mel's Etsy shop, and I will leave the Etsy shop down below and the announcement video down below, and on the screen for you to check out. I will leave the announcement video, and I'll also leave my 5-star prediction video that I did last, so that you can check that out and maybe, just maybe, recommend me an easy book mixed in with the unhinged smutty book that you want me to read. Give me a book that I'm excited for, you know? Mix it in. I want a bit of both, because like that's fun for me. A little bit of unhinged fun, a little bit of 5 stars. Just a thought. I hope you would consider participating in Pageathon, and I hope you have yourselves an absolutely incredible day.